Hi, this is Robert Estrin with virtualsheetmusic.com and livingpianos.com. We have a viewer question from Gary who asks, how do composers determine what key to write pieces in? You might think, boy, there must be something to this. Well, there is quite a bit, actually. If you go back far, there was a time at which tuning was not standardized. That is to say that even in Bach's time, even though he wrote in all the major and minor keys, they didn't all sound the same. This is true on keyboard instruments because tuning technology had not developed to the point of true equal temperament. Sure, you had the well-tempered clavier because you could play in all the keys, but F-sharp minor had a different quality of sound to the intervals than, let's say, C minor did. Now, if you go back further, there were drastic differences in tuning. So, also, instruments have different sounds in different registers. So if you go back far enough, indeed, there were differences in the sound of one key compared to the next because of the state of the development of instruments and the state of tuning in keyboard instruments. Now, flash forward further, when equal temperament was there, instruments had been perfected to a great extent, much more than they had been in the Baroque era, certainly. Why and how do composers choose a key? Is it just like a coin toss? Coin toss? It doesn't matter? Quite to the contrary. The key that a piece is played in has to fit in the right register. Just imagine, for example, that you're writing a piece for a singer, for a soprano. And if you wrote it too high and they're straining, they would sound very uncomfortable. Too low and there's not enough power. Well, the same thing is true if you were writing for a French horn or a flute. After all, the tone of a flute in the low register is dramatically different from the high register. So if you chose to write something in G or write something in D, that difference could be dramatic in the tonal implications for the instruments you're writing for. Same thing with a symphony orchestra. You want to have a certain quality of sound. Well, they talk about some keys have a darker or brighter sound. Well, it really comes down to the instrumentation and the octave that you're writing in. But you might find that, for example, even if you're writing for strings, that if you're writing a certain key, you have to make a choice of either writing in this octave up here or this octave down there, and maybe either one of those is not really what you had in mind. Maybe right in the middle, therefore you'd have to choose a different key just to accommodate the sound you want out of the instruments you're writing for. And I think that's the primary reason for composers choosing keys, unless you go back further when tuning wasn't standardized and instruments were in their infancy in regards to development. Excellent question. Keep them coming in. Again, Robert Estrin here at livingpianos.com and virtualsheetmusic.com. See you next time.